Welcome to another episode of the Biker PM. I'm your host, Anthony Pavelich. Today we have with us Dale Reardon from Australia. Along with his wife, Jo, he co-founded Travel for All, solving the problems around accessibility and inclusion in travel. Travel for All will be a trip advisor for accessible and inclusive travel, incorporating a community and providing detailed, accessible travel information. Travelers with accessibility needs will have all access to trusted, verified, and complete information to plan, book, and experience travel with confidence. Dale is legally blind and uses a guide dog, Charlie. Dale has considerable experience with both online and offline businesses and been marketing or conducting business online since 1996. He is a great believer in the power of community and peer support and the power of technology to help people with disabilities. Dale is a passionate advocate for equality, anti-discrimination, and disability rights and equality. So let's get started. Hi, Dale. Thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Yes, very good. Thank you. Great to have me here.
I'm great to have you here. So can you just give us a little introduction of yourself and about your company and what you're doing, and then we'll take it from there.
Yes, I'm live along with my wife and guide dog Charlie in Tasmania, Australia, which is the southernmost island of Australia. We're creating Travel for All, which is all about accessible and inclusive travel, which includes people with disabilities, but also people with just sicknesses, illnesses that might be temporary or permanent, people with children that have special needs, basically anyone that has some special requirements when they're travelling, and building up both a directory and helping the businesses in that sector attract new clients that they may not have marketed to before, and to help the individual travellers find the places that suit them best.
How did you get started in this? What was the moment that decided that I need to do this and I need to help other people be able to do this?
Yeah, well, both my wife and I do like travelling very much. We've been to Europe and Asia several times. Jo, my wife's done a lot more travelling around the world than I have. And we're actually in France last year staying at an Airbnb, and we'd had a very bad experience with the property. The host had described things that just weren't the case, said, there was air conditioning when there wasn't, which is obviously just something you can easily prove, and many other features of the property just didn't match the description. So we saw that there was the real need for some independent verification of the suitability and features of a property. And that, if I'd have been in a wheelchair or had some requirement that meant that the stairs, which weren't described properly, had been a real issue, then it could have ruined the whole holiday. It was really at that point in time that we thought, there was a great need for this. And even just myself travelling with my guide dog in Australia, often have need to find out about toileting areas and local patches of grass, etc. And it'd be great if properties listed all those sorts of features and talked about what they might offer for other types of special requirements and disabilities. Then when we got home from the trip, we gradually started the planning to build up the business.
You have a wide range of accessibility that you're looking at.
Yes.
For children, illnesses, disabilities. What was it what made you want to do that all inclusive instead of just focusing on one, like people with disabilities or people with illnesses or people with children?
Yeah, basically, business reasons and sustainability and profitability. Because, for example, we looked into the research and only 4.7% of people with disabilities are in a wheelchair. So the lower you niche down, even though wheelchairs and guide dogs, like with myself, are very visible, they're a very small percentage of the market, and then we could not offer as great assistance to the businesses and not target as big a niche ourselves to make the venture profitable and attractive to investors when that time comes.
So how long have you been doing this now?
Yeah, we went through a business startup program up until the end of December last year. We were then ready to launch back in March this year. We were about to, and obviously the coronavirus hit the world and tourism was just so uncertain as to what was going to happen. So we basically, like everyone else, put everything on hold and waited to see what happened. And now we see that really the world is having to face the reality that the virus is not going away anytime soon. Even if a vaccine comes, it's not going to be distributed worldwide immediately. People are still going to have to be taking precautions. So, yeah, we've had some clients, businesses have started to reopen and people, where it is possible, are travelling again. So, yeah, now is the time to get promoting again.
What is your process for keeping track of what you want to do for your marketing, for creating the business, for creating contacts? How do you keep track of it all?
Yeah, we're actually using, which we came across in a startup community, the product Notion that you might have heard of.
I actually haven't heard of Notion.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll send you the link for that. It's basically replaced a lot of what we were doing in. We still use Asana for a lot of task management, but yeah, Notion has been very good with managing different documents and our design process and drafting up blog posts and marketing and keeping track of that. We obviously use a email system /CRM. We're using MailerLite ourselves, which integrates with our website so that people can subscribe, and their full contact system between our website and the email system is all bi-directional, so that it's fully synced. So yeah, we manage everything that way.
So how big is your team? Is it right now just you and your wife?
Yeah, at the moment it's just my wife and I, as in both full-time. We do use WP Buffs, which is a WordPress maintenance and technical support company, to manage some of the technical assistance on the website, although we've both been using WordPress for over 10 years now, so we're very good at implementing it, but sometimes you start to run out of time and need some help, and there are some technical things that are beyond our skills that we get assistance with, and as necessary, we contract out. We've used some of the platforms such as Upwork to get some contract work done when that has been necessary.
What is your focus? I mean, what is your goals? What are you trying to? What kind of things would you like to see implemented? What kind of things are you trying to have avoided when it comes to accessibility for travel for everybody?
Yeah, well, I mean, the business itself, our key goals, it really is. I don't like the phrase much that has come about of social enterprise. I far prefer the phrase profit for purpose or profit with purpose. Like any other business, we want to make money. I mean, everyone wants to be properly rewarded for the time and effort they're putting in. But, we do have a purpose for the business in achieving a good social outcome as well, in that, and the key of our core is making travel and tourism more accessible to people, helping people travel and have holidays. So yes, we want to make sure that the product we create achieves a good outcome and provides that service. But yes, we obviously want the business to succeed as well.
What are the outcomes you're looking to achieve? Like what are the major issues that you're trying to address?
Our key philosophy with accessibility and inclusion is that no business, no hotel is fully accessible to everyone. If you see a property saying they're fully accessible, it really means nothing. It's a matter of putting out the information and then letting the individual travellers, the parents, the family, decide for themselves whether that will suit their needs. I mean, one property, for example, might be perfect in every way, but the room has a shower over a bath. So then you've got to decide, can you live with that if you're a little bit mobility impaired, or do you really need a walk-in shower, and then you've got to look elsewhere? Or, the room might be a very long way to walk to the restaurant when you're at a resort. So you need to know if they offer some golf buggies or other forms. So just because a property on first glance may or may not be accessible, it really is a matter of getting all the information and then make the decision for yourself. So yeah, properties need to not just put out the glossy photos of someone lounging by the pool. We want them on our website to put up all the photos so you can see for yourself how big the bedroom is, how big the bathroom is, where things are positioned. is the bed too high, or things like that, rather than just some glossy pictures.
Or even if the bed's too low. I know my mom has a lot of mobility issues, and sometimes she can't sit on her couch really that much because it's hard for her to get up.
No, that's true. Actually, my mother-in-law's got the electric recliners that
So does my mom.
up, and
that's where my mom spends most of her time, because she has a couch, but she doesn't have the strength to push herself out of it, especially when it sinks in a little bit. So yeah, there's a lot of things that people just take for granted.
Yeah, and it'd be so easy for a hotel to have an electric recliner instead of a standard recliner, and then the property would suit people far more. For example, we stayed at a Novotel in Queensland last year. It was only 12, 18 months old, and all the controls in the room for the air conditioning, the lights, the TV were all touch screens. But unlike Apple products, and even Google has it now with speech built in so I can use the touch screens, these didn't. So there was no way I could use anything in the room, and my wife had to operate all the controls, which is a real pain. If they then had something like Alexa or Siri in the room as a backup, that would have been perfect. But yes, they hadn't thought of all those things.
And honestly, it's something we take for granted when we travel, is just that for those that aren't visually impaired or, in any way, although now I feel like I have to have my glasses to find my glasses. I was joking about that yesterday. I was looking for my glasses, and they were sitting like right next to my computer. And I'm like, maybe if I had my glasses on, I would have found them. But, but for other disabilities, we're just not, it's things we take for granted that we can just do things.
Yeah, even some restaurants recently, I know Joe's had to pull out the phone and put the torch on so she can read the menu properly because the room is so dimly lit. I know one new hotel in Cairns in Queensland, it was promoting all its accessibility features, even has the menu on a special holder with this strip of LED lighting around it so that anyone can easily read it.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, and they say, such a small thing, but makes it much easier for everyone.
Do you feel overwhelmed, overstimulated, and overworked? There's so much you need to do, but you don't know what the best way to do it is? And you're not sure where all your time goes each week? Jump on over to my website, pavproconsulting.com. You can download my free PDF, The 5 Proven Strategies to Steal Back Lost Time and Money in Your Business. And while you're there, you can book a free process discovery session, pavproconsulting.com. Move forward with confidence, focus, and productivity. So what you're hoping to accomplish is having all these companies be able to give the information for your website at a one-stop shop for those that need special accommodations to be able to find their destination that fits their need.
Yes, and essentially with the reviews, I mean, we ultimately, it'd be great if we could become the TripAdvisor for accessible accommodation and travel. That's our, mighty goal.
That's well, but it's possible. I mean, there's some, and I don't know if there's any if you have any competition out there. I mean, it's not something I've had to search for. So
no, there are some other businesses doing it, and I mean, as with anything that has a market these days, there's always a competitor. So yes, hopefully it's a matter of providing the best product and the best marketing. Yeah.
So where do you see? Well, we know right now you want to be the TripAdvisor of this. So where do you see yourself in 5 years with this?
Yes, being, well, hopefully very large and successful. I mean, we're starting off in our home state, Tasmania, want to expand fairly quickly around Australia and then worldwide, partially because our social media and website audience is so worldwide. About 56, even 60% of our social media network is overseas, spread between UK, Canada, and the US, because those countries are very much into accessibility, whereas Australia is catching up a lot there. So yeah, we do have a big following in, thankfully, in the Northern Hemisphere, and we love visiting there as well. So yes, we want to certainly be expanded into there.
Are you focusing on just properties, or are you focusing on other industries besides like hospitality?
Yes, it will include hospitality, tours, attractions, activities, anything to do with getting out and about, really.
Because the one thing that just came to mind, and I don't know if this is an area you're looking into or not. If it is, I'd like you to talk about it. How you can see this being better is airlines. And I
Yes.
I think of those little screens. I mean, you were talking about the touch screen in the hotel. I think of
Yep.
those little screens that you can watch TV on that is like, a third of the size of your laptop or something. How can you see something like that being more accessible?
A lot on airplanes is really, I mean, as a personal point, I take my own device, whether that be an iPhone or the laptop on board, or we won't have time to go into it now, but another one of my hobbies for many years now, I've been learning all about getting involved in frequent flyer programs. And I've travelled business class and first class quite a bit internationally. And then you get the full-size screens.
Yeah.
So that has been a very good, one of my side benefits. So I'm experiencing all that. But domestically, normally travelling in economy. And just normally take my own device. But a lot of the airlines, I know Emirates, for example, has audio description and subtitles on their entertainment on the airplanes, and spreading among some of the other airlines as well.
I always take my iPad too, usually, because I will download what I want to watch from Netflix or something, and because it seems like most everything on the plane I've either seen or it's really old. Or I don't want to see it.
We have a great love of champagne. So by the time we eat eat food and drink several glasses of champagne and then have a bit of a sleep, there's not much time to watch anything anyway.
Yeah. Do you think there's an opportunity to have some kind of voice command or some kind of, I know it would be almost kind of, you have to think of everybody around, but some way to like start things. I mean, there's so many people talking on planes anyways.
They're allowing Wi-Fi now, which means you can use your Skype or Zoom or whatever else, which you might want to talk into to make video calls. So yeah, I think using some of those speech devices, the Siris and Alexas and Google Girl, would be a good way to go.
Great. So was it difficult to get this started? What was the process you had to go through to start this?
Yeah, I mean, basically it's involved everything from building the website on WordPress through a combination of plugins that we bought, some free, and then some custom programming work. I guess everything we've done over the last 10 years in learning about online and e-commerce and everything came in very useful, because we knew exactly what to grab and what to put together.
So is this your first entrepreneurial adventure, or have you been like a serial entrepreneur?
Yes, I suppose so. By profession, I'm a lawyer. I went to university,
okay.
but got a law degree, worked as a lawyer for about 7 years. Then do actually have history and experience in the tourism sector. Along with my family, we owned and operated 3 bed and breakfast tourist properties for 8.5 years. So I was in the tourism sector then. And we've had several other online ventures. Joe's operated a relocation business, helping people moving to Tasmania, and some other internet training programs online. We did also run a disability community, which was successful to the point where we could grow up with our resources. Went for about 18 months. But then we needed an investor or large sponsor to come on board to help with the technology improvement and development. And that didn't happen, unfortunately. So, now we're on to Travel for All.
Well, it's nice because it seems like you've taken a lot of your past experience and it's helped you to be able to understand and do this endeavor a lot easier.
Yeah, one of the things we learned with the disability community, we were working on a advertising model, much like Facebook, was that you need a lot more money in the beginning because you've got to build up a huge network before you can make enough money. So this time we're working on building in income and revenue streams from the very beginning to make sure that we can fund the growth of the business rather than having to get a big investor on board to fund the growth until you make the money.
So let me ask, was there one resource or a book or a person that you looked at that inspired you to continually be an entrepreneur and try new things and keep reinventing yourself?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I don't know whether you've heard or mentioned you have Jay Abraham is a fantastic business. I mean, it's sort of a combination between entrepreneur, coach, mentor. It's really his philosophy of not looking just at your sector, but looking at all other types of businesses and seeing what you can learn from them and bring them into your business. He's just the master of taking learnings from, for example, car sales and putting them into tourism, or, really seeing how you can change things to fit other sectors. And that really has been one of the great learnings I've had.
From there, if you had one piece of advice for somebody that was looking to become an entrepreneur, what would that be?
Yeah, really, it's much like I actually learned it in my personal life in terms of relationships and things, but you just don't know if someone will say yes or agree to work with you or do something for you or help you unless you ask them. So really the best advice, particularly when you're starting, is, ask. You might get a yes, you might get a no, but you can't be worse off. And we really, approach people when you've got to build up your connections and your community. And you've just got to, learn sensibly what may or may not work, but then you've got to take the effort and make an attempt.
Great. So before we sign off, then, if people want to find out more about you and your business, how do they do that? Where can they go? What's the best place?
Our website is at travelforall.guide, and that has links to the directory site and all my social profiles are on there as well. Because obviously giving the URLs for all of them now would be a bit difficult. But I'm very active on Twitter and LinkedIn. So yes, people can find the links to those on the website or no doubt on the show notes on your program.
Great. Yeah, and I'll make sure that I link to that, and you're going to send me a link to the software you're using as well. So we'll put that in the show notes.
I'll do that.
And thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much for the help.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Biker PM. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. And remember, if you're an entrepreneur that wants to be with like-minded individuals and improving their project management skills, join the Biker PM Facebook group. Until next time.